guys, how's it going? This is Dave Sebastian, coordinator of mentoring arts programming with Wayside, Wayside Youth and Family. I am back with you guys today to finish up the multi-piece project we've been doing on the RC truck. We're going to jump into a couple of other stencil-y kind of things. We're stenciling this crown here from my daughter. She's a queen, so we're gonna spray it there. Pretty much like the second thing we're gonna do is spray that and just give it a try, kind of see what happens. And hopefully if it looks good, we'll transfer it directly over to the crown. And then once we've done that, we're probably gonna, before we get it, let's see, gonna do the truck, gonna do that. Then we're gonna begin a piece about flying eyeballs. I think the flying eyeball was invented by Rick Griffin, who was a great psychedelic artist from the 60s and 70s, and he drew a really fun and incredibly popular image in the flying eyeball. So I found a stencil of flying eyeballs, which will help us get started. And then I figured that we would try to create a quickie airbrush scene with a bunch of flying eyeballs. Kind of see how it goes. Always trying something new here at Greenhouse Graphics. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things that we've done so far. This is where we're at in the truck with the next stencil sitting on there, ready to go. We're going to spray the highlights on the word crunchy. The deal with this truck is it's going to be a Cheetos off-road crawler. I'm sort of amused by that. I think that it seems like a fun idea. So we're going to just trick it out with all kinds of Cheetos stuff. The other side, we're going to put I think I got it for you right here. We're going to put an image of Chester Cheetah driving a hot rod, motorcycle, chopper, and this was an ad campaign, if you can believe it, from the early 70s called Cheesy Rider. I don't know about you guys, but I completely love that. I can't believe that they used Easy Rider as an ad campaign. Like, it's just amazing. It's awesome. I wonder if they got sued. It's some fun stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, so like I said, first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the highlights on the truck, and then that part of the RC truck will be finished. I think I'm going to do some orange stenciling around on it, but orange pinstriping, but I'm not totally sure about that. I'm going to kind of see how it goes. I've tried to draw a few Cheetos, and Cheetos are not easy to draw, and they kind of look foolish. So, so I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I got a few other ideas and tricks that I'm going to mess with, though, and we're going to see if we can make it all kind of come together. I hope. So let me tell you real quick about my programs. My program is called Greenhouse Graphics, which is right there. That's my logo. And I work with Wayside, which is right there. Wayside is a human service company out of Framingham. I've been working with them for about 7 years. We've created my program. Oh, excuse me. Nothing like headphones on backwards. We created my program with a partnership between Wayside and the Department of Mental Health to create arts programming and bring it out to the young adults of Central Mass. I work with young adults 16 to 26 years old. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I would run open studio programming at my studio. In Framingham in Tempo Young Adult Resource Center, which is located at 68 Henry Street in Framingham. I would be there Wednesdays and Fridays from 10:30 to 3 when I'm allowed to be there. And then the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I would spend in the community running arts programming with young adults who can't get to Framingham, at schools, libraries, youth centers, like really anywhere that young adults happen to be. Because of our health situation, I am doing this work virtually. So we've done maybe, I think, 30 videos directly on YouTube Live, and then I think I've done at least that many on Facebook. We're doing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday on YouTube from 3 to 5, and Wednesday, Friday on Facebook. And today is Monday. Today is Monday of Christmas week. And we're going to try to wrap some things up. You know, things have been going, I've been having a really great time working with you guys. We've been working on a number of projects. Oh, excuse me. We did this project. That was a sketch. And then we brought that onto a leather jacket. Then we started to rough out our colors. We brought in some of our hardcore darkness and light and shadow. Then we brought in a little bit more detail and a little highlighting and more lighting. And this is around where we are right now. Been going really good. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. We're going to get back into the jacket and finish that. We're going to finish this truck, this side of this truck. We actually did the tailgate now and the passenger side. I don't think the passenger side is done, but it's done as far as I want to do in this session. You know, so like I said, then we're going to switch over to working on the Queen stencil, see how that looks, and then we'll move on to the flying eyeball. I have where'd it go? Thanks. Where'd it go? There we go. I'm not sure you can make this out at all, but this is a stencil of a flying eyeball that we're going to use. Going to use this really big one, which means taping off the bulk of the rest of them. But I think it'll be cool. And then we're also going to do this stencil here, which is one I created out of Photoshop with the basic font. And we're just going to spray that guy out. And if it works out, we're going to spray it with pearlized white and metallic blue. I think it's going to be, you know, sort of a fun project. I'm hoping I can get away with it for Christmas without getting caught. You know how that goes. Oh, excuse me. Ridiculous. All right. Let's get a little bit more light over here. Oh. All right. I'm sorry about my fingers in front of the camera. My built-in camera on my switcher is right next to my finger. I did hear about this new way to go, which is that you can switch using a keyboard, and I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, guys. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the crunchy stencil really quick. And the first part of that would be loading up our airbrush, which I put here. Airbrush we're using today, as we've been using for quite a while right now, is the Iwata Eclipse. This is the CS. I think it's HPCS. Really, really cool tool. High air. You know, like you can't believe how loud this one is. That's extremely loud for an airbrush. So I've been using this for a little bit. This is a custom airbrush designed by the guys at Coast Airbrush in Anaheim. I went out there and met those guys back in June 19. And these products, they make these in-house, and they're really great products. This particular one is the Black Ops, all black all the time. got to paint my quick connect so that it's also black. All right, so the color we're working with today is white, just a pale white. I was gonna use marker color. For some reason my marker white is over here. All right. So like I said, we're gonna use Maltau marker white. Works really good, and we don't need a ton. And we're going to spray a sealer on top of this, you know. So one of the things to keep in mind with airbrush is that you don't need much. You know, you need a very, very small amount to do, you know, any of the tasks that you're working on. You know, I am the king of using entirely too much paint. And then all you do is just waste paint, you know, because you can put it back. A lot of people do. But I don't like infecting my paint with anything else. And if you put it back, there's at least a chance you're going to get some of the paint in your cup, the paint you mixed, something. Especially with white. But if not, you know, then you can put it back. Or I know folks who keep little cups like these, which are tattoo ink cups, and you just keep some stuff in there and stick a cork in it, you know, keep some paint in there, and then you write on it, this is my whatever, you know, like this is my skin tone, you know, blue. I actually pretty recently made a skin tone marker, and when I'm making extra paint, that's how I save mine. But mostly you just try not to use too much, you know what I mean, and then you're kind of good. So we're going to go ahead and tape this out. Sorry for the double. Just got to remember where we want this. Just want to pull up a reference really quick. Alright, that is not the one we're using. Oh yeah, it is. Alright, middle to the back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So what we want to do now is our over-the-top stencil wants to come in just to the back of all these letters. Take a quick look at the Y. Yep, the Y is middle to the back. All right. Okay. So if you guys have been watching this process at all, you know, one of the things that I think are very important is to have tabs on your stencils. Otherwise it makes them really difficult to remove, and it doesn't make much of a difference as far as holding the artwork down. As long as you have, you know, two pieces, your tape covers both of the pieces you're taping down, then it shouldn't really matter. And, you know, obviously use as much as you need. You can see this area over here. I have a lot of tape there, and that's because right now we have 3 stencils taped on top of each other so that we can try to make sure we can get, you know, what we need without getting it anywhere else or getting it on the rest of the truck or anything, and this will help keep it right where we want it. One of the great things about having this particular one being sort of small is that it makes it pretty easy to get some tape down. All right. So real quick, we're going to switch over. Well, first, before we do that, let's put some paint in our airbrush. Because we're going to need that. All right. I've been thinking lately about switching over from what I think of as an Iwata style hose to a Badger style, which is more of like a spring coil. This guy is like hose. Theirs is more like spring, you know, so you get, it stays a little tighter, because I am really often stepping on airbrush hose. All right, so always mix your paint really good, and I always say this, but I think it's good to keep saying it, which is always make sure the cover is on your paint before you shake it. That might seem obvious, but it isn't. Oops. Looks like we missed a little spot here. Alright, there we go. So a couple things I'm going to use to help me here. That is only one of them. There we go. I use this tool right here. This is a vinyl puller. It's basically a very thin dowel with a tack nailed in the end. This is for pulling pieces of stencil. I use it a ton for that purpose, but it's also really good to hold down places when you're airbrushing. This end here is kind of a burnisher. So you can use that to hold down sections while you work. How much we're spraying in this stencil is a minimum amount, so it shouldn't really shouldn't need much, but I wanted to have everything right here in case I need it. I use that, and then I use just a paintbrush because of its, you know, long and skinny nature. All right, so now that we have our white is all shaken, we're going to drop our, you know, maybe 5 drops of paint. All right, that's probably even too much, but that's what we're going to use. Oops. I think it was last time we were together, I said it's probably a good idea to put your airbrush down when you're filling it, because otherwise there's a real good chance of making a mess with it. Another thing I always do is keep like a little piece of paper here so that I can test my airbrush on it, make sure we're spitting our color the way we want. Looks pretty good. Sorry guys, need a little more. Just need a little bit more pressure. All right, so now I'm going to switch cameras really quick, so you know, you might lose me for a sec. Hey, here we are. Can you see me in the camera? All right. I'm going to try as best I can to stay in the camera here. So all we're doing here is highlights on the letters that we've already placed. So we're going to use pretty much a straight white. Let's just make sure we don't have any. You know, really quick before I go, I want to just put a drop of reducer in here. All right. Sorry. Hey! Just mixing up some paint real quick. Hold on. Always dropping something important. One sec, you guys. Got it. All right, sorry about that. Oh, I do the gumbo mixing method from one of our online tutorials. So you just have to make sure your air cap is on, and then you can just, you can just kind of mix it. Right? And that helps just mix our two colors together. And then we're pretty much good to go with those. I just have to find where I put down the cover. Say like right now, I'm standing on those again. Just having a little bit of supply line problems. Okay. Okay. All right, back to work. So all we're doing, bringing a light white here. Whoops, that is a little too hot. There we go. All right. All right. I'll let that guy dry for just a sec and get right back to talking about the next project. So the reason we started with that project is because white, of course, is a relatively easy color to cover. So the next color we want to use is, I think we're going to go ahead and try the pearlized blue, which I have right. Where'd you go, kid? There it is. So these are the colors that we're going to use: pearlized blue and detail yellow. Pearl blue. Oh, I thought this guy was a metallic too. Got another one around, is it? There it is. All right, so we're going to use pearl yellow and pearl blue. Now, the only problem I've ever had with the pearls is getting them to move. You got to do about 100% reduction to get the airbrush to be able to pick up those heavy metals, and you also need to really shake the heck out of it, really shake. Both of them. I don't believe I've opened the blue. The blue. So we're going to have to see how that goes. All right, we're just going to hit up our stencil one more time, and then just kind of whoops, then just kind of, sorry guys, just back out a little so you can see that. And we switch cameras again. All right. This time we're going to go like a little lighter. All right, so now we just try to dry everybody. Especially right here because my finger is stuck to it. Really easy to dry the paint on the stencil, but it remains to be seen if we're drying the paint on the truck. I'm hopeful, you know, that's gonna work out for us. Cool. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with the truck. See my hands? That's what I wanted to do with the truck. So we're going to put the truck aside, give it a couple of minutes to dry, and we're going to work on the Queen stencil. All right. So all I got to do is find a place that I can put the truck where it is not going to be in my way for a few. You know how I set the unit up here. How I placed the truck was to use a hobby vise laid forward, and I put some Gorilla Tape across it to hold on to the side of the truck. And this gave me enough because the truck is made. Whoops, my camera got bumped. It looks like. There we go. I'm sure that was me. Is to give it some structure, because the tops of RC trucks are like a fiberglass and they have no framing, no form. I probably could have painted it on the truck and maybe it would have given it a little bit of form to work with, but I felt like it'd be cooler to be able to take it off and work with it. For example, this pose right here for the truck, the entire body and stuff would be under it and I'd be working over that. So I think that this was the way to go. After quite a few different ideas on how to make it work, I think my favorite one was cutting a block of wood the size of the chassis, putting it up inside of the truck, taping it in there, and then that you could put into the hobby vise, you know, that you could move around however you want. You just have to place, you know, create it. I'm no woodworker, and I wish that I, you know, could do any of those things, but I really can't. So it's easier to just work with what I have. You know, hobby vices are very inexpensive. I found this one on formerly Craigslist. I think it's Facebook Marketplace now. And it was close to home, and it was like $10. They're about 20, so I got like 50% off. You know, but it worked out. So yeah, so that's what's up with the truck. I guess we could do the big reveal since we've waited. Since we've waited long enough. Whoa. Waited long enough that we can get in a little bit and maybe see what happened. All right. First stencil we'll have to take off is the one that we just put on. So you always want to be careful. But like I was saying, if you have, you know, if you leave your tabs, it makes taking the tape off way better. And then when you're taking tape off of a top stencil, don't sweat taking it off totally, because it actually makes it quite a bit easier to be able to pick the stencil up using the tape. Oh, I don't know, guys. That one right there looks pretty good, but did we stencil on the other stencil? I think we did. So we're going to have to do that one more time, but we did a heck of a job stenciling on the stencil. Bonehead. At least we know that stencil's going to work. Right? Okay. Cool. Let's try that one more time. Looks like we got some of the white where we wanted it. Of course, now it's going to be a lot harder because now we have paint on it. Just get a few scratches so I can see through my paint. Look good on the other stencil though, huh? Gotta pay a little more attention. You know, this is what happens when you get old. You stop really being a detail person. Well, look on the bright side. At least I didn't take all the paint out. A lot of people have been asking me lately if I paint my fingernails because my nails always have airbrush paint on them. For years, I've always worn black gloves. Pandemic has taken away the opportunity to use gloves. Sorry about that noise. That's my compressor refilling. Right now, it looks like I'm working maybe about 20 pounds of pressure. It's working perfectly. That's pretty much exactly what I want. Look at how cool the stencil came out. I got to keep that one. That looks really fun. Keep it over here with the rest of my crunchy stickers. You guys see those? Oh, let me turn off my logos here. See my stencils over here. I think so far this project I've created 6 stencils just to do these 2 words. And the other side seems like it's probably going to be more like 10. But you know, there's something fun about that. Something about breaking something down and trying to create something, trying to recreate it in a completely physical way. The airbrush, of course, like moves our paint in a different way, but it definitely isn't a printer. And it definitely doesn't simply reproduce artwork, right? You know, like we have to create it, you know, and being able to recreate this logo has been really interesting because, you know, if you could recreate the Cheetos logo, who's to say you couldn't do, you know, something simpler or even something more difficult? You know, I think it's awesome. You know, I think it's really, really awesome. So we're going to hit this thing up one more time, and then we're going to switch to something else. Hey, All right, so we're going to hit this guy just one more time and see how that looks. You see me starting this under my shoulder here, and that's so that we don't get any spitting. Whoop. Okay. Taking a look at it, it looks pretty good. Really hard to see how the kind of coverage we got. There we go. I think that spot right there looked a little dry. My hands again. Sorry, you guys. Cool. So we're just going to let this guy dry for, 2 seconds. Hit it with some air. Say, come on, paint. Dry, 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 dry. There we go. We could take a look at... we could take a look at how much, paint we use. Like, I literally had 5 drops of paint in there. So now there's nothing. And that really, so that was exactly how much paint we needed. I usually clean up with this. This is just water. You just throw a little in there. I use one of these little paint tanks to throw my junk away in. Don't really have to put much in here because the next color we're going to put on top, obviously white's not going to be a problem for yellow. Sorry about that, guys. So I do wipe my airbrush out with a paper towel, but like I said, it doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. You can just go ahead and keep using it. Whoops. You ever notice that when you're trying to do something, dropping everything you touch is extremely easy? That's me actually bumping into my camera. I love when that happens. All right, so the next color we're going to use is this hot yellow. We're going to pull our stencil on the truck. I'm nervous about it, you guys. I don't know if it's going to work out. So we're going to go really easy. All right. Hey, that looks pretty good. All right, let's pull the rest of this stencil. All right. A little overspray, which is too bad. But I think we'll be able to punch that up real nice using a black marker. Let me grab a little one right now. Oh no. Sometimes the markers don't want to work with us. Try a little trick that works sometimes. Oh, especially these particular tips, yikes, are hard nylon. Most of the Maltao tips are an absorbent nylon. So, when you push them up into the tube, they fill with paint. These fine points, are like washed in paint, which is definitely not as good. It's definitely not as good. In fact, I don't even know if this will really work in here. I'm going to just take a look at it real quick. I don't know if this is the best marker for this. But I guess it's the one we're using. Okay. All right. That's kind of fun. Now we are going to have to figure out, how to re-black the truck, but we're going to wait and see what happens. Couple of cool logos. In this area right here, I'm going to print the words "made with real cheese," because it's too small to write, but I think it'll look good as a print. Just need to grab a marker real quick. See where it is. That one doesn't even say. Trauma. Grab this whole unit. Move it over here. I am positive I have that red. Just need a traffic red marker. That's real quick. This will be lobster. Yep. Just take a sec, guys. Being colorblind makes finding colors just that much funner. You know what I mean? Makes it a little more of a process. All right, I'm going to take a look and see which color we used for which. Whatever marker I want to use, that one will be dead. Alright, so just going to take a quick look here and see what color we used for what. Alright, so that is lobster and this one is traffic red. Again. Go with the lobster, I think. Okay. One more thing. Pretty sure this is the yellow that I used. Just want to put a little. Oh. Oh, not good. Not good, people. Not good. Try to use more of a paint marker. That is a paint marker, but it's a custom, so it's one that I made out of some other paints. Oops. As typically as it goes, whatever you need, you'll be out of that. Although I am not out of these nibs at all. I have a million of them. Just like to try to find one that I've already opened. This one's a 4mm too. And that's the wrong one. See, that's why you don't want to open them. 2mm round. I always have a dream of going through this bag and organizing them and putting them in again. So this is what the marker would look like, dead, you know, or with a new nib in it. And all you do is push it down for a little bit. You know what I mean? You just kind of push it down. It's going to push the nib up into the paint. And that'll load it up. As you can see, it's actually already, whoop, there you go, already yellow. And good to go. So we're going to just go in here and touch a little. Not great, but it'll work for the moment. that's why, because our stencil did not cover that area. I'd left that blank. So I'm guessing it was Hansa Yellow, which is the one I was just talking about that was too wet. Go in with the airbrush. Just try to dry it here a little bit. Okay. Let's see if we can get this guy to push down this yellow a little bit. Not too bad. We're just going to leave that guy like that. Call this a partially done project. I definitely like what's happening. It's very silly. We got the Chester Cheetah autograph on the back. That was some fun. We're going to keep working on it, but for the moment, we're going to be done. All right, so we're going to move on to our next piece, which is this. Brush some of our stuff away here. Hang up our Cheeto stencils. One of the great things about building stencils at home is that once you have it, it's a cut file, of course, in the computer, so you can use it like a million times. You know, like, I don't know, but there's at least a chance I'm going to put the same, you know, Cheetos stuff on the other side. If I do, these stencils will do the job. Don't have to cut them again, you know, and don't have to worry about it. You know, if I ever did another one down the road, I would have everything that I need, except for a good piece of tape. Thinking about putting a large dry erase board next to my desk so that I can magnet things to it, because it is always a little bit of a problem. All right, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to try see what happens with a little yellow. All right, I'll try to get some of this loose paper out of here, just because it makes me uncomfortable. So this guy, we're going to use our high performance reducer and pearlized yellow. Just going to chance it. Same deal with this guy. We're just going to put, oops, like a drop or two in. Could have sworn this was open. Yep. All right, there we go. Obviously, pearlized paints tend to settle a bit. There's obviously metal in them. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe mica? I'm not sure. Whatever gives it flake. I'm sure somebody out there knows the answer to that. If you guys have any comments. I have literally 4 drops in there, and they seem to be extremely heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is literally like more than 100% reducing. Let's see if we can break this yellow down and get her to mix into our reducer. I haven't been using this pearlized paint in a while. I was using the last two. Let's switch cameras here. Whoop. I was using it to make lures, fishing lures. I had an awesome time making them, but the guy I had partnered up with, I guess he just lost interest or thought I was screwing him in some way. I'm not sure, but he stopped calling me back. I have maybe 50 unpainted fish. If anybody out there is interested, I would love to paint some fish for folks. All right, she's moving. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do here is we gotta mask out the letters that we're not gonna spray. And the easiest way to do that is just your basic piece of paper. You know what I mean? You wanna make sure you don't cover. I mean, the first letter I wanna work with is this H. Is there an H in Queen? No, it's a Q. So, all right. Other thing is overspray is a real problem, you know? And this is just a test, but might as well do the best we can to hide out some of the spaces that we don't want paint on. Okay. All right, we just got a little bit here, and hopefully we can avoid that. Hey. All right. So this Q I lined up in a little bit of a weird way. I decided to reverse the stencil a little bit because I was having a real hard time pulling the bits out of it. Fortunately, I need this to be over here a bit more so that you guys can see it. So here's our cube. All right. Here's our pearlized yellow. It seems to be working just fine. All right, now you can see right off the bat that even our masking is going to jump around a little. So we have a plan for that. These are, of course, you know, ratchet bits, but they're heavy and, you know, they don't, all right. Now the difficult part here is going to be trying not to stencil the bolts on, the ratchet bits. Whoa, that was way, way, way too wet. That's going to be a problem. Definitely got it moving though. No way you can say that was not moving. But it's going to be a mess, so we're going to have to do it again. That just came out a little too fast. All right, let's just take a look at it and know that it's going to be a mess. I do like the look of the pearlized yellow though. That's kind of fun. Let's see what it looks like, even though we know that this isn't really what I want it to look like, at least initially. Very interesting. Definitely didn't spider out on us, which is pretty awesome. Have pretty much none of this pearlized left. Maybe we can throw a line of yellow. Okay, now we got our yellow in there. Just gonna throw a little water in and blow that out. And that is all of our white. All of our pearlized yellow. So now we're gonna try our cousin pearlized blue. Again, I did definitely not spend any kind of time getting all of my paint out of here. I don't know about that cube, you know. This is a sample to see what I could figure out, but I'm thinking we need the inside and we need to trim the outside, which is going to mean some pain in the butt stuff. Unfortunately, stencil building, there's a process called islands and bridges. And islands and bridges, oh, sorry guys, right in front of the camera. Islands and bridges are basically figuring out a way to make a stencil hold its shape, you know, when you cut it and take pieces out. A good example is, I'm sure you guys can't see this, but this is an S stencil, right? And S is a great letter because it's self-contained, right? So you see that. Now an A, you got to figure out a way to capture that A. And that's a serious inconvenience, to be honest with you. All right. A guy online called this his gumbo. I really like that. 1, 2, 3. Go with 3. And we'll add our high performance reducer. And we'll do a little more than that. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be more than 100% reduction. Um, and we kind of boil this up a little, like we were saying, the hillbilly gumbo, whatever that guy called it. I got to find out what he called it, because it was very funny. So all we do is basically backwash the airbrush just a little. Don't want to do too much because it'll spit all over your work, but a little. Go. All right, so we need to block the letter Q this time. All right. Okay, let's take a look at how this looks. Take all of our vast masking away. All right. Well, that looks pretty cool as far as the letters go. I do think we're going to have to think about using a different Q, or simply building that Q in a different way. Hold on one second. Launch switcher cast. Let's just take a sec here and jump over to my other screen. Okay guys, so back over here now. Oops, yikes. Airbrush gear falling, marker gear falling, everything's always falling around me. Okay. Go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So this is a stencil that I was going to do for our next one. You know, this looks cool. I really like it. The only problem, or there is no problem with this particular one, the one we want to take a look at is this one. Seems as though this this is the size that we need to work with. And I had cut up everything we had stencil wise. Let me kick this out. So what we had cut is this large, this piece here is another stencil of the flying eyeball. The last one, I had missed some corners of it. Oh, this plastic feels thinner. This is trying some new film. Unfortunately, this one feels a little on the thin side. I'm hoping it'll hold out. What I used before, what I was using, overhead projector film, was pretty tough. And it was working out really awesome. I'm not 100% sure. This is how the silhouette mat works. You pull it up and it's supposed to pull up all your bits. Which this one did, you know, pretty good. piece hanging off here. I'm sure there's a few pieces hanging off, but I'm not going to really pull this stencil right now. We just need the little bits around the pieces that we're going to use to come off. Alright, you know, this doesn't look bad. We got like almost like a huge amount of it out. It's just a few small pieces here and there that are holding on. Sometimes the paper, the whatever you're using to cut your stencil out of, sticks to the surface a little more than you want it to. I have a smaller scissor around. There's just a little piece sticking up here. Oh yeah, it looks good. Well, that's too bad. I did not mean to cut that piece right there. But this is going to work just fine when we get over to working on it. What we need to do right now is get all of the interior pieces off of this plastic surface. Because we need to stick another piece down, at least a part of a piece, so that we can cut the Q for the queen again. Ow! Just stuck a razor in my leg. That kind of sucks. Of it. See that a lot of plastic stays really well though, and this is just a razor scraper, but it takes like everything off. If you're like in your living room or something, it'd probably be a pain, but in my studio I have no problem making a huge mess. Gotta be careful though, because I am the king of cutting myself, and here I'm working with a razor. Alright, almost all of it. I think we got the bulk of it off. People are always saying after they've been here in non-pandemic times that they got home with the letter L stuck to their foot or something. Alright, looks like that's about it. So I had quite a few more small stencils that I was trying to pull to work with, but it just didn't work out. So I think we're going to need to do some adjustments here. We need to zoom out a little, come over here, zoom in again, just take a look at this cue. in Silhouette, you have to select everybody because everything goes in as its own path. So you got to make sure, you know, you can, that you don't cut them, that you don't mess with them individually, because then they'll leave you with nothing. All right, let's see. This has got an eraser in it. I want to bring the size of that down a bit. 5. So what we're going to want is we need this interior space to stay and all of this extraneous stuff to go. It was best to do that. I think if we make an erase right there, right, and maybe another one there, and then we can get in a little closer and use the line tool to connect this spot to here. Unfortunately, as soon as you put it back down, it starts writing again, drawing another line. Looks like it's probably because I don't hit the enter button. See? Just all it wants to do is to make lines, which is fine. Alright, make sure we get everybody cut up the way we want. But we don't, because we need a line here. And there. Alright, so now we get one piece. That's a little complicated still. So we're going to go back over to our eraser tool. See if we can break some of this stuff down a little bit more. Like if we go right through there, and then go back to our friend the line tool, and then go down here. Getting even closer. Oops. Just grab the eraser so we don't leave anything, any little bumps or anything around. Alright, now if we pull this cue, these big pieces would leave and this big piece would stay. And that is really what we're looking for. Right? I think so. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a really small piece of plastic, which I just threw a tiny one down. And be able to make the cue on it. Looks like it's only about 3 inches tall by 2 wide anyway. Do I have anything here that'll do it? 1, 2. That looks like just the right size. Which one of these is a little bigger? What we'll do is we'll jump back like this. Now supposedly everything should be able to be grouped. And then we can move it away. So, oh, anything else? No. All right. So this guy, we also want to move over here. And so what we want to use is this. Same deal. Group them, and then we can move them over here. So 2 inches wide. That is not going to make it. I don't think this is going to make it either. 2 inches. Looks like something like 2 by 2. Don't believe I have a small piece that will work with. Let's see. I had just thrown away some bigger pieces just to see if I had anything that could work. But I don't believe I do. So I'll have to just use the other stencil material. Oh, that'll work. Got a little piece down the end here.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Macklin came to Emery Mason telling Mom he's going to come and play with us when all we wanted to do was like, oh, you have to come home.
Sorry about that, you guys. We're back working again. Sometimes kids need stuff, you know how it goes. Trying to look out for everybody. You know, these days of COVID, I am sure we are all going to tell our grandkids about it, assuming any of us make it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like my chances getting worse nearly every day. Pretty soon, gonna be out of luck. All right, so we get this little guy. Oops. Rolled out here, so we can get. So right here, it looks like we got easily 2 by 2. Okay. All right, so now all we got to do is we got to take these pieces here and move them off to the side so that when we go into the cut page, it doesn't think that we want to cut that as well. Whoops, what is all this stuff? Simple. I wonder what Phil looks like. All right. So all we got to do is cut this little guy. Is real simple. 2 inches by 2 inches seems really small for the cutter. Let's just take a look real quick at the one we used for the rest. This guy here is actually just under. It's like 1.5 by, about what, give or take 1.5. So 1.5 by 1.5. So this guy looks like it's just a little bit bigger than that. Go ahead and see how it does. Let that run for a sec, about 42 seconds. Sorry about that, guys. I am back with you. What you doing, Moss? Hold on one more sec, you guys. Okay. Sorry, you guys, trying to get things back together. All right, so we're back together, guys. Gonna take a look at how our cue came out. Oh, let's see. Oh, look at that. Let's see what happens. The joy is when you pull the stencil material off and it takes all of the pieces and leaves them on the sticky surface. This one left exactly none. Yeah. But, so if it left none, then you gotta pop them out on your own, which is more often than not inconvenient. But we do have the tool for doing it, which is this guy right here. Remember, that's our cue. Hey, that's kind of funny. That's our cue. So all you do here is just try to follow the lines and look for spots where the cutter might have missed. You got to be careful, of course, because if you hit a spot that the stencil didn't cut, it's real easy to tear. Alright. I'm sure this is extremely interesting looking at my head while I do this thing. Ugh. Couple spots that didn't come through at all. So I go through like this, and if I can't get enough of it loose, then you have to go in with the razor. But the hope is that you won't, because the razor is going to take away some of the detail. There's nothing you can do. So, razor is not the best thing to switch over to unless you have absolutely no other options. And unfortunately, it's feeling like we're just about there with this guy. Another thing that's cool is that an upside is that the razor usually has so small of a tip on it, but a lot of times you can, we're not recutting the stencil. We're just opening up the pieces that the cutter might not have cut as deep as we needed it to. And the hard thing is that we're taking everything out, and what stays is what we need. So it's a little bit touchy. You know what I mean? Not to mention this particular project being extremely small all the way around. This looks a little bit promising. Alright, that looks like we got just about half of one side. Almost. Alright. I think we got all but a couple of real small pieces here. Hold on one sec. It helped a little being able to get a little closer. You know how it is when you're old. got the top half out. That looks pretty good. Oh, we just had to get out around 65 more pieces. Just sort of kidding. Alright, just gotta. Alright, you can totally see the spots that the cutter missed. Because if you pull too hard, you can see pieces of them come, tear. Which is a pain. There it is. Yikes. All I need is after I had spent a couple of hours pulling a stencil, couple of hours, I kid you not, pulling a stencil last night only to have the last piece tear. So, if you're easily frustrated, stenciling might not. Almost. Almost. All right. Almost. Almost. Looks like we got just 2 real small pieces to go. And then I think we'll be good. One tiny piece left, it looks like. tell you, there's some tiny spots in here. Oh, again, this is the absolute last piece, so it would usually get screwed up. It kind of just pulled a little. Almost. There we go. Almost. Really? Yeah. There is our new cube. All right. So let me jump over there, switch cameras, and we'll go right back to it. All right. All right, guys. So how about one more camera switch? I'm gonna turn this one off. This one on. And this one. All right, cool. So now we got a little better cue. So what we want to do is pull out our same stuff. This right here. Take the stencil down and the masking. Okay. So now we're going to try to hit this cue again. What do we got in here? I think we got the blue. Yep, blue's in there. So this time we'll just blue it up. All right. So doesn't really matter about the rest of the paper. This is just a test paper anyway. we can probably go ahead and throw this down here just for kind of general masking purposes. All right. All right. Let's see how that worked out. Definitely seems like it's more, looks way more like a cube. We did get some overspray problems. Not in the area I thought we would, actually. Definitely got some overspray up there. All right, let's try our pieces together this time. All right. Now, one of the absolute biggest problems of stenciling is losing them. As soon as you touch them, there's a good chance you'll lose them. Go. So now we have our new cue. Just check something out real quick. So we just throw this bad boy in here. A straight edge. Just so we can get the rest of these letters in here and take a look. Oh. Gotta watch out for this overspray. I mean, this spraying like too much, because it just makes a mess. Section of our little blowout there, that looks all right. Yeah, that looks okay. Now let's take a look on the object. See if we can make it work. Since we got our big cue, probably start with that boy. Yeah, that should work. And then the rest. So I think, unfortunately, the first thing we're going to have to do is cut our cue out. Because he's not going to work there anymore. So we want to go ahead and cut him out. Okay. Okay. So we're all done with blue in here. So we just dump it out. Oops. My cap. This is why I keep having needle trouble, because I'm always poking into things. Just get this water out. There we go. Okay. Same deal, like I was saying, I'm not going to go crazy on color changing. You can spend as long as you want cleaning your airbrush. I find I spend a long time doing it. Let's try to get as much blue out as we can. Okay. So I think we're gonna, what are we gonna do here? I think we have to make them into one stencil, which means trimming back this guy really close. All right. Okay, that looks pretty good. This cue a little crooked. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this bad boy here. See where we can fit it. Might have to come up with a better way than painter tape, because painter tape doesn't seem like it wants to stick on this surface. Take a look. No, definitely doesn't. I wonder if our hobby vise that we just moved might be able to help us. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Looks like we got it set up. Looks like this. Seems like it's going to be able to hold on. Probably what I'm going to have to do is spray each letter one at a time, because it definitely seems like our big Q wants to live on his own. In fact, maybe we'll do the go. Okay. Wish there was just a little more weight. You know, it's supposed to suction cup to the table, which would be awesome if I could make it do that. I wonder if we can get it to suction cup to my cutting board here. Guess no. Oh, damn it, idiot. Hey, don't turn the thing upside down, you know what I mean, dude? So I mentioned buying this used. That might have been a mistake. Yeah, that ain't doing nothing. Okay, well, we're pretty much out of time, but if you guys want, we can continue messing with this, at least for a second. Okay. What do we got in here? We got nothing. Definitely have to go get a wound airbrush cord. Same thing we did last time, this time maybe even less. Wow, that guy's really thick. Okay, my little paintbrush. Chaz. Okay. There we go. Got our metallics in there. Oh, that's a cool color. It's like purple. Okay. Whoa. This guy's gonna fall over on me. Wonder if we can get one of our pieces of tape to work underneath. Is the inside non-stick too? Not quite as bad. we got this crazy Gorilla Tape, which is absolutely brutal. So you have to use the smallest possible piece of it. At least it sticks, kinda. A little up top there. Oops. Now we have the two pieces. Hey! Sorry guys, there we go. So now we got these two pieces. We got this tape here, which will help us bridge the gap. All right. Where's our pokey tool? One pokey tool. All right. So we're going to take a look at what this looks like. Oh, that looks like green. Okay. All right. Cool. So here we go. A little greener than I wanted. Okay. So we need this guy up. Okay. Well, we got that Q still where we wanted it. Now we got to take a look at the rest of that. Definitely going to have to cut it down. Cool. All right, you guys, so we probably got about 3 minutes. So all I'm really going to have time to do is to set up the rest of this. I don't know if I'll have time to hit it all. Okay. Oh, don't want that much. Okay. Tearing Gorilla Tape, the size is a pain. Oh. Okay. This is extremely challenging to do with one hand. Did I or did I not just have this clamped in here? I don't even know if I have enough of it to hold on to. Guess we're going with that's what we got. All right, we're gonna give it a shot. Okay. Sorry, guys. the impression we're having a little reduction problem here. Okay. Unfortunately, way too much of that weird gold color in here. So we'll just throw that away. Okay. Now all we want is a little blue. I know we're way over, guys, so if you have to go, I totally understand. Alright, we got 4 drops of reducer, 2 drops of paint in here. Alright, gonna mix her up a little. Okay. Alright, almost done here. Alright, the only other thing I wanted to do real quick with this guy is I want to spray the tips of the crown. So for that is we just have to mask around like this. keeping in mind that this painter tape was totally not sticking when we just did this a minute ago. Okay, that one looks all right masking wise, since it already has that Gorilla Tape there. All right, 2 more. Whoa. Okay. All right. This is yellow, right? Oh, that's blue. All right. So for this, we want the whole thing over. The only thing I'm worried about with this is spraying the monitor, spraying my iPad. So we're going to spray over this direction here. Try to miss both iPads. Sorry, you guys, like this is gonna block the shot, right? You guys see it up here, maybe? Whoops. I wish the other ones turned like that. That would help. Alright, let's try to turn our tool here a little. Stand. Fix. Try not to spray the inside of the ground. That looks pretty good. Get all the balls. A little bit of a metallic blue. Looks like we did all right on overspray. Not great, but could be worse. All right. Now we're half hour over, guys. Just gonna pull all this stuff and we'll call that a day. All right. Definitely got a little overspray on the back. All right, let's take a look. Oh, I think I like it. I wish you could get, like, you know, they say if you get really close with the airbrush, you can make a really small line. I guess maybe you can. But I would need that sort of gold color. All right, so that's about it for us, you guys. This went really good. I had a really nice time doing it. Let's pull it off here so we can take a look at it, even though it's probably not totally dry. This is what we, let's see, get my hand out of the way. That's what we created. It just says Queen on it. Some fun stuff. Looks like we just got a little blue in a spot I didn't want it to be. But looks pretty good. I like it. You know, hopefully my girl will fall for it. Oh, looks like we bent one of them. All right, guys. So I'm going to say thanks for being with me. Thanks a lot for being a part of the program. I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, here on YouTube again. Excuse me. Please come on back and check it out. I think we will be... What are we working on next? I really can't... Oh, yeah, we're going to do the flying eyeball thing. So we'll try to work on the flying eyeball thing next. And then it'll be probably back to the coat so we can finish up the guns on there. Remember where we left the guns. Hold on one second. So I could show you guys. That's where we left the guns last. The front one's looking close. Back one is looking like the sketch. So we're going to keep working on these. We're going to make them work, and they're going to look really cool. So again, thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.